You are watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your daily dose of business and technology to educate, empower, and inspire small business owners. Be sure to subscribe to the show today.
Welcome to True Blue Services, your trusted partner for top-notch electrical solutions. At True Blue, we pride ourselves on quality and reliability. With a 4-year warranty, you can rest easy knowing your electrical needs are in expert hands. Electrical vehicle charging stations, we're certified for Tesla and ChargePoint, installing thousands from top brands like Loop and Clipper Creek. Call 404-372-1916 or visit www.trueblueservicesga.com. Use promo code TRUE62.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, your daily dose of business and technology. I'm your host, Audrey Bell Kearney, and I got a guest today. Mr. Neville Reid is my guest, and we're going to be talking all things clean energy, preventative maintenance for your home, because I know a lot of you are like me. You just buy the house and you just live in it, and you don't do anything to keep it up except for paint and shampoo the carpet. It takes more than that, and he's going to tell us how to do that. So, Neville, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're here. You know, there are a lot of homeowners out there who we're going to talk a little bit about solar panels and, you know, what people should think about before they install, because I know for me, I'm all about clean energy and all that kind of stuff, but I don't understand all of that stuff. And I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that. Also talking about preventative maintenance, because you said, you know, there's some things just like you take care of, you know, the paint, you need to take care of the electricity. And I honestly know that people don't pay that stuff any mind, because I remember when I bought my first house. We bought the house, Neville, right? We were so excited. We bought the house. We must have been in the house a good week. And that we went to Walmart, because, you know, when you buy your house, you got to go to Walmart to get all this stuff. Went to Walmart, got all this stuff, came back home. It had to be a good week, maybe two. It was water just gushing down at the front door like raining. So as soon as we walked in the front door, the pipes had burst. We had just bought the house. Pipe burst, water just dripping down right at the front door. So it was like we was walking through a shower. And I'm sure that's because the previous homeowner just didn't maintain that stuff, because who thinks about the pipes and the walls? Who thinks about, you know, you don't think about the roof till the water start running down. So it's like little stuff like that. So glad you're here with us today. So tell us a little bit about True Blue and how you started the business and why.
Okay. So True Blue Services is a full service electrical contractor. We do anything from maintenance, new installs, renovations, tenant build outs, EV charging stations, solar panels, preventative maintenance for your homes, commercial businesses. We do preventative maintenance on their electrical systems, because a commercial property will have a bigger liability if they don't maintain their electrical systems with the thousands of people they have in there. Started the company back in 2017 because I've always loved to see building, basically seeing anything come from ground up, building and being put together, and then seeing the end outcome of that. And electrical has always been something that I've been drawn to.
So I love to see entrepreneurs. I especially love to see young entrepreneurs. I especially love to see young male entrepreneurs in this space. So when you decided to start in 2017, you know, what was that like? Did you have funding? Did it cost a lot for your startup? How did you start?
That's a good question. Excellent question. Basically, no funding. It's all savings, and it was all, hey, I know this is going to work because I have the knowledge, I have the work ethic, and I love talking to people.
Ooh, that's a good one, because you gotta like talking to people, especially in the business that you're in. I think about when you start a business, you start out as a solopreneur. Are you still a solopreneur? Do you have a team of people?
I have a team of people. It's not like a large team, I won't say that, but it is a small team of people who will work dedicatedly for quality, safety wise, and will always be there to answer any questions.
So you got a good team. Do you see yourself expanding the team, and how do you manage the team? Because managing people is tough. So how do you manage that team?
Yeah, you definitely have to have tough skin, and you have to
say that again. Say that. Wait. Say that one more time. You got to have what now?
Tough skin. And you have to be forgiving, because everybody has their own personalities. That's number one. you don't know what someone else is going through, so you don't want to judge at the beginning. But you always want to be there to understand, hey, I'm here for you. Just communicate to me and we can work through whatever it is that you're going through. And if you don't have a team that is clear-minded without their problems on their head, they can't take care of the customer. And that's the end goal, is to always take care of the customer.
Yeah, customers are first. I think when you have that good customer service experience, they go back and they tell people, I had a good experience with people. But when you have a bad experience with people, that goes quick too, because I've been in situations where as a matter of fact, I just went to a restaurant for my birthday. And when you go to the restaurant for your birthday, it was two of us at my table with the same birthday. So our birthday was like last Tuesday. It was two of us into the table. Right. And the woman took and said she was going to give us one piece of cake for us to share. And this is an upscale restaurant.
Wow.
So she wanted us to take a spoon to eat out of the same plate.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, like, is she for so my friend whose birthday the same day as mine, she said, is she for real? She brought one piece of cake. Then she brought out, I said to her, you know what, just give it to my friend, she can have. Then she brought me out a cup of chocolate ice cream. And I'm like, why can't I just get a piece of cake like her? Like, I'm the one that asked for that cake. And you come and give me, and I don't even eat chocolate ice cream. So needless to say, that wasn't a good review. Not from anybody at the table. And it was a table full of us. And that was crazy. Everybody was like, yeah, we never come here again. So good news travel fast, bad news travel faster. When it comes to maintenance on your house, right? A lot of times, I said before, we think about the carpet. We want to keep the carpet clean. We're going to paint.
You guys had to sit in traffic.
Oh, your phone breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit. All right. Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear. We're having some technical difficulties, y'all. Tech is tech. Tech be teching sometimes. He'll come back through in a second. But he's going to talk to us about what we should be doing as homeowners to make sure that, we don't run into these problems with our house, like, wires. And because you hear a lot of times fires being started, right? Electrical fires. And that's because you haven't kept up the maintenance. So are you back? All right. So Neville is having some technical issues.
I lost you there.
Okay, I hear you now. Are you back? He's going in and out, in and out. If you want to sign out and come back in, you can. If you can hear me, if you want to sign out and come back in, you can sign out and come, because sometimes you have to do that. Listen, tech be tech, and as much as we love it, sometimes it's just a lot of work. It be teching right along with us. A lot of times when we have fires in homes, it's because of the electrical outlets and the electrical wiring is not good, and that's because we don't think about that stuff. And I want to ask Neville, when he is back, what could homeowners be doing right now to make sure that their wiring is still up to par? Because if you bought a house that was built in 1920 and you had just gone on the fact that the previous homeowner said that the wiring was great, you're going on that. I know you're supposed to have an inspection, but what happens after you pass the inspection? Okay, you look like you're back. Are you back? I can't hear him. Can you hear me? I don't think he can see me either. We're going on the fact that
I hear you now.
You hear me now? Okay.
I hear you now.
Okay, good. I was trying to hold it down until you came back. So I was just talking about when you buy a house, you don't know really what's in, what the wiring looks like in a house, but you get an inspection and the inspection comes back with everything passes, right? But still, how does one know if they've been living in the house for a very long time that the wiring in the house is good? And how do they measure that throughout the years? Because some people buy their forever home and they never leave.
Right. So typically copper doesn't deteriorate, but the devices that are connected to the copper, hopefully you have copper wiring in your home. That's number one, and not copper clad. The copper doesn't deteriorate, but there is a thing called resistance between copper clad and copper.
Yes.
Copper clad is a mix of copper and aluminum. Aluminum is a conductor, but is a far more, how can I put this in layman's term? It heats up faster than copper.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
copper being the best conductor, if you don't have the proper grounding, if you don't have your devices that are changed out after a certain amount of uses, that can actually increase your chances of losing power to whether it's one area of the home or several areas of the home, or even burning up a outlet or a switch.
So now I'm a homeowner. I've been in my house for 15, 20 years. What am I doing? How am I checking that? Am I bringing in an electrician like you and say, hey, check this and make sure everything is good? Like, how do I even know when to check it? Is it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? How do I even know that part? Because I'm not thinking about that.
Uh, right. So with our preventative maintenance, we come out once a quarter. It's basically a yearly thing, but we come out once a quarter. We come out, check out all your outlets, all your switches, all your lighting, and your electrical panel. We do a thermal imaging scanning. The thermal imaging scanning allows us to see where heat and resistance has built up on your electrical panel, and we give you advice on whether to change out your electrical panel now, or whether you'll be good for another 10 years, or whether we even give you the option of whether you want to opt in for, there's certain panels called Challenger panels and Pacific panels that have been recalled. So it's best to go ahead and change those out before an electrical hazard happens and you're without power for maybe a day, or you're scrambling trying to find an electrical contractor.
So when new homeowners buy their home, I'm sure that's definitely not what they're thinking about, because they're thinking about, this is a brand new house. I don't have to worry about this for 20 years. Should they be thinking about
Right.
that stuff like right then?
So if it's a brand new home, you have your year warranty of construction warranty, but I don't know if you know anybody that's purchased a brand new home. I know quite a few people who purchase brand new homes where they have had issues with even reaching out to the builder, let alone the electrical contractor who put any of the infrastructure in the home. So although your devices may not be going out, it is still wise to have something like that on hand, because our preventive maintenance actually helps and assists with discounts if you want to change anything inside your home, whether it's lights, whether you want to add lights for an area in the back. Maybe your backyard isn't well lit enough. You get 15% off of that. Any emergency calls, say your power source, which would be at your meter, a tree falls and hits and disconnects your power, the county is going to require you to pull a permit. And depending on how late at night it happens and you want your power to get restored very quickly, you would call us and you would get 15% off of the emergency fee.
Wait, so because it's the storm season. The storm season is here. So people, anything could happen, because it is that time of the year. March,
Right.
March is rolling in and rolling with tornadoes, all kinds of stuff coming in March. So if
Right.
someone's electric go out in a storm in the middle of the night, they can pick up. You got a 24/7 service, so they can call us like, look, bruh, I need my lights on. I can't see. Can they call? Do you have a 24/7 services that you offer?
Yes, ma'am, we do. It's
Nice.
404-372-1916. You give us a call, send us a text. I always recommend call once, call twice, but someone will pick up and someone will be out to assist you as fast as possible. Within the hour is what we guarantee.
That's nice. That's good to know too. My brother, when he bought a new house, with the
Mm-hmm.
contractor, had some issues, couldn't get in touch with anybody.
Right.
He also wanted
Right.
to get some lighting put into the ceiling, and he had the hardest time trying to find someone to do that. So I understand exactly what you're talking about with the new houses, because when he bought his, I'm thinking, the house is new, you got problems already. He's like, man, we got issues already. But they were small issues, but
Right.
nonetheless, they were small issues that he couldn't really get anybody like right away. Like, it took a minute for him to get someone. And in his
Right.
mind and in my mind, we're thinking the house is new. You shouldn't have any problems, but that's not necessarily the case, even though it's a new house. Even though it's a new
Right.
house.
And they don't
So
really make it easy to get in contact with the builder or anyone after it's sold, because they, they've gone on and long gone on to build new neighborhoods. So
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about solar panels for a minute, because right now, there are a lot of companies out there who are selling solar panels, and some people actually want to get solar panels, but they don't understand exactly what that means. I've heard questions like, "Well, who pays for the panels?" I've heard things like, "I heard I had to get a totally new roof." I've heard all kinds of things like, "I'm gonna have three different energy bills." I heard all kinds of stuff, right? But the
right,
questions that I hear most is, people are concerned about the roof of their houses. And so I've heard someone say something like, they told me I had to pay $30,000 for my roof first because the panels won't fit. So I know that you install panels. Homeowners who are
right,
looking to be more energy efficient, they want
right.
to be able to, have clean energy and all that stuff. What does the process look like for a homeowner who's considering getting solar panels?
So basically, the first step would be to analyze whether your home or roof can handle solar panels.
Hmm.
That meaning whether what kind of material your roof is made out of, whether your roof or the angle of your roof captures enough sunlight to produce enough electricity to make it worth your dollar.
Mm.
That's first and foremost. Not every home can have a solar panel, but there is alternatives. So if your roof doesn't capture enough sunlight throughout the day, they do have solar panel trees that you can put in your yard, somewhere in your yard that does capture a lot of sunlight. It's a little bit more expensive than having them on your roof, because you have to do a lot of trenching, and then you also have to plan your site properly. Um, the best option is to put it on your roof, but there's always a solution to everything. So if someone told you you can't have solar panels, you very well can have solar panels. You may just not have to have it on your roof. The roofing, now you did say someone asked you or told you about a roof where they had to repair their roof.
Yeah, they said something like, we
Is
got to
that the
spend
case?
$30,000 for the roof, and that was like a big pushback. Like, I want to get them, but I don't want to spend $30,000 on this roof. So it was like, I don't know about that. So because we hear all kinds of questions in that space, we hear all kinds of misnomers and made up stuff. We hear a lot of stuff, Neville, in that space when it comes to solar, because a lot of times people are just trying to sell something, so they'll tell you everything you want to hear and not necessarily the truth.
Right.
So yeah. So when it comes to,
Yeah.
the roof, that's
So
always a
definitely,
big
if you
yeah. Go ahead.
yes, so if your roof is if your roof is kind of old, and they probably advise you to go ahead and replace it now, because with having panels, it adds weight. And so basically a
Mm,
roof is made out of plywood and what they call shingles. If your
mhm,
plywood is deteriorated because your shingles will deteriorate, meaning water got into it and saturated it, then the liability of putting solar panels on your roof, no one wants to handle that liability. So they want you to get a brand new roof with better better structure, I can say, so it can handle that extra weight.
How much does a solar panel actually weigh? Because is it heavy or is it light? Because I've seen some good technology. I've even seen some technology recently that you roll it up. You roll the panel, it's like a roll up, and you just spread it out. So, do you need a certain type of panel? Do they need to be a certain type of weight? How does that work?
So the weight, it differentiates from manufacturer. What I can say is it does add a lot of weight. You don't have extra support on your roof, only
Mhm.
because you're depending on how much current you want to power your home. That's basically depending on how many solar panels you're going to have on your roof. The best one I can say, as far as price wise and value for your dollar, would be a Tesla roof, only
Mm-mm.
because they cut. If you look at all the pros and cons of solar panels, Tesla basically has the best value for your dollar because of the warranty, because of how much they cost, and the support behind whether you get it installed and the convenience of getting it installed. along with their power wall that they have. A
Mhm.
power wall, I know you're gonna ask, a power wall is basically a battery backup storage. So if you don't want the solar panels, you can also just get the power wall backup.
So now, what does the power wall backup? Because you talked about a solar tree, the solar panels.
Right.
What is a power wall backup?
It's basically a backup generator. If you
Mhm.
don't have the solar panels, it basically stores the utilities power, and whenever you're ready to use it, it's an automatic transfer switch that transfers that power into your home's power, so you're off grid for certain times of the day or whenever you choose to use it, and it replenishes itself with the utilities power.
With the utility. So right now, my energy company, I have my energy company, and I'm getting
Mhm.
power from them. So am I siphoning off power from the energy company? Is my bill gonna go up any higher because some of the power is going over to the power pack?
No, it's actually going to lower because once you stored it, and then so it's basically, I'll put it to you like this. So if you get power for one day, right, and you don't use all the power, and you stored majority of it, and say, hey, these days out of the week we don't really do much, or we don't cook, or don't use the oven a lot, or we don't use the dryer a lot, which are your biggest loads in your home. You would use the power wall to back up any other little current that you use, and basically you'll have that current still used. You still have backup current used that you can use for other days of the week. And then
Who
once
the
it
heck?
gets down to a go ahead.
Who knows that? Who knows that? Like, so I'm glad you're sharing this because I like my oven is not used very often. Neither is the dryer is used like once a week, maybe twice. So people are listening to this right now. They're
Right,
thinking, well, I don't use. There are some people who are never home and they're paying a regular electric bill, right? They're not
right,
using hardly any power.
right,
They could be backing up the power that
right.
they aren't using into one of these power packs. Now, do you guys offer that as well? The backup part of
Yes.
it?
So the power wall is it's a Tesla power wall backup generator. I call it a power wall because that's the name of it. I keep saying backup generator because it will make more sense to the listeners. The backup generator, just think of a power wall as a backup generator, but there's no noise. It's quiet. It's all electrical. There's no gas. It uses utility electricity. So I need people to understand that. And so yes, we do install them. We do offer that. The best option for the Powerwall is for you to get a site survey, basically look at your electricity bill from whether you have Georgia Power, Swanee, Walton EMC, and basically we do a yearly average of kilowatt hours used, and basically go off of that and see how many power walls you actually need to power up, depending on what you want to power up and how you want to power up. And it's also great for when your neighbor may have power outage, or your entire neighborhood may have power outage, and they look over it and your power to your home is still lit.
When I was living in Jersey, we had this big storm. I want to say it was
Uh-huh.
Irene, one of the big, either Irene or it was one of them storms that came through. What was interesting about where we lived in Jersey, we didn't live close to the shore. We lived like 3 hours away from the shore. But anytime there was a bad storm where we lived, which was a little bit like we were in between Central Jersey and North Jersey, we were in the middle, right? We still had extremely bad weather. So there's one particular storm, the whole block flooded. The entire block flooded,
Oh,
all the power went out, and there was one guy around the corner. His name was Hugo. I'll never forget him. His name was Hugo. Hugo had like 5 generators. He had us all, he had wires coming through everybody's yard so we could have
what now?
electric. It was crazy. So we
Oh,
always say, so I always say, like a good neighbor, Hugo was there because he was a good neighbor. Like he powered like my house, the neighbor's house. He had generators everywhere. But now I'm listening to you
right.
talk, and I always tell my husband, like I'm one of them people that's kind of like a download prepper. Like I'm like trying to dig a hole in the backyard just in
Right.
case we need to get in there for whatever reason. I'm like that person, right? And so I'm always
Right.
saying to him, we need to get a generator because we never know what's going to go out. Now I'm going to go back today, like look, Neville said we need to have a power wall by Tesla. You like Tesla? We need to have that wall collect the energy because we never know we're going to need that. We didn't think for a second that we would have no power for like 5 days. But Hugo had these generators with all of these cords through everybody's backyard. So I think that's important for the listeners and the viewers to recognize, like, look, whatever you got to do to prepare yourself, do that thing because you just never know. We didn't have a clue that was going to happen. Right. And in these days, we don't know what's going to happen. So just know that part. I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about EVs. And for those of you who don't know, those are electronic vehicles. President Biden is saying that by 2030, he wants everybody to be driving an electrical vehicle, right? And so not everybody's happy about that because they like their cars, they like the gas. But then there are a lot of people who want electrical vehicles. And, the biggest question is, well, how are we going to charge it? And if we have a charge put in our house, how does that work? And how much money am I going to spend on that? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So I believe when the president said he wants all the vehicles to be electrical vehicles, I believe he's speaking about new production vehicles. It's going to be kind of hard to get people to throw away their old collector vehicles or not drive. That's almost going to be impossible. I believe he's talking about new vehicles. And just a little history about electrical vehicles. Electrical vehicles aren't a new thing. Electrical vehicles first came out in the 1880s. The fear of not having enough places to charge them, and the fear of the battery running out is why they actually went south. And also the point of not having enough power as opposed to a gasoline vehicle is why they went away. So the cool thing about electrical vehicles now is they have longer ranges. They're more powerful. The charging stations are actually being put almost basically all your grocery stores, your pharmacies, and even in homes. So a lot of people are putting them in homes because they like the convenience of not having to go anywhere and charge, and just have they charge their vehicle overnight or while they're cooking dinner. And so installing a EV charging station inside your home is as easy as taking a look at your electrical panel, whether you have enough room, whether you have the capability, whether the load of your electrical system has the capability of having an EV inside your home. If not, you can upgrade your electrical system, which requires pulling a permit. Anything we do inside your home, we're going to require to pull a permit just for safety and liability reasons and for peace of mind for you. Also, the ease of having the charger in your home is as easy as basically ordering a movie. It's on demand. So it ain't, how can I put it as far as power usage? Power usage is going to maybe 10 to $15 of a charge. Right. So it's an investment. It's not, I won't say it's a cheap investment, but in the long run, it's a value that you can add to your home, whether you depend on you want to sell your home or whether you want to stay in your home. It's definitely a factor of adding value to your home.
Well, I could say this. I talked to someone about that. Even when the person was telling me about adding solar panels to your home, because I was like, well, I pay to get the solar panels put on the house, but I decide to leave. Do I take the panels with me? And they was like, no, you make that a value proposition for the house. So the people that come there, they don't have to reinstall them. They're already there. I'm like, oh, okay. And I can see, like, right now, if that's one of the things that the president is saying, we want all the new cars to be, EVs, that's going to happen. And there's a company. I don't know if you know about this company. He's downtown. His name is Derek. The company is called Derek Automotive. Have you heard of him? Derek?
No, I haven't.
You got to check him out. He has a showroom downtown Atlanta in Atlantic Station, and he has electrical vehicles. His is run by the motion of the tires. So when the car is rolling, the electricity is created from the tire rotation, and it charges the battery. So you only have to go and get your car
Yeah.
once a month, once every
I'm
8 months. Really nice. And I was like, that's
right.
amazing. So he's retrofitting older cars, and the older the car, the better, because there's not a lot of electrical components inside because it's an old car.
Oh,
So if you got an old car, it's easy to retrofit an old car with this new technology. And I seen the motor. The motor is like about this big, and they're trying to get it down to this big. It's crazy. I'm like, that's amazing. So, he's downtown Atlanta. It's called Derek Automotives. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. He's just doing some amazing things down there, right? From cars to bikes to fleet of trucks. He has a great thing going down there. As a matter of fact, the Gwinnett Women's Chamber will be sponsoring a forum about electronic vehicles and transportations coming up, I think, in June. And I will keep you guys posted about that. And hopefully he'll come back and be, on the panel, as well as Neville, if he has the time. I know he's a busy man, but hopefully he'll sit on that panel as well, because I know that these things are not going anywhere. When you have a sitting president say, hey, this is what we want to see by 2030. 2030 is 6 years away. That's not even a long at all. So, we got to start being prepared for these things, because it's going to happen, whether you like it or not, whether you go kicking and screaming or not, it's going to happen. So you got professionals like Neville here to tell you, let's do an audit. So by the time they mandate it, because it's coming, by the time they mandate it, you're already prepared for that. You don't have to get ready because you're ready. You know what they say? I ain't got to get ready because I stay ready. That's what you need to be doing. So you got to reach out to Neville to make sure that you got, that you're audited and everything is in place. So Neville, how can people reach out to you for more information about all of the great things you're doing over at True Blue? How did you get the name True Blue? I like that name.
True Blue Services was actually True Blue was actually a tool that I love to use. I know it sounds crazy, but it was a tool. It was a tool that worked out excellent for me while everybody else was going out to go get the other brand names, and that tool just happened to work better than the brand names that they were going to go get.
Okay, so you kept the name True Blue Services. All right, I like it. I like it. So we're trying to. How can they reach out to you?
You can reach out to True Blue Services through calling 404-372-1916, or you can go to True Blue, that's TRUBLU servicesga.com. You can fill out contact form there, sign up for your preventative maintenance membership. You can also reach us on Google, True Blue Services LLC, and you'll see the great ratings we have.
So you got some people who say, you know what, I really want this service. I want to, I'm a little bit afraid. Is there like a questionnaire that you walk people through before they sign on? You kind of hold their hands a little bit, because people are afraid. They're afraid of new stuff. They're afraid of change. They're just afraid. Is there something that you do to help them like ease that fear?
If you're talking about as far as the membership, or you mean like the electrical service?
Both of them, like memberships too. Like there are people like, I don't want no membership. I don't need no extra bill. Even though you tell them, ma'am, you need this. You need to have this service, because you never know what's going to happen. And you can call us in the midnight when the storm knocked the tree knocked the house. That person, like, how do you help them overcome the fear? Because I know you probably deal with a lot of people with a lot of fear around a lot of different things.
Well, you'll be surprised about how many people are actually willing. I don't try to talk anybody into anything. I just try to show them the value of it and show them that, hey, you're paying such and such amount for whatever TV service you're doing. All you're doing is watching TV. This is actually adding value to your home. And also with your membership, you basically get, it's almost like an inspection report that you have and you keep for forever, whether you want to rent out your home, or whether you move. You show this to the next homeowner, the purchaser, and they see that you've actually been taking care of your electrical, because the things that people fear when purchasing a home is whether the plumbing is going to go bad, whether the electrical is going to go bad, or whether the heat and air. Those are the main things. With electrical, if you give them that peace of mind, that's one less thing they have to worry about. That's one less thing they're trying to bargain on the price of your home.
So you're like the Carfax for electrical. That's what it sounds like. I hear you saying, like, you can pull the Carfax report, like this is the Carfax. So it sounds like that's what you are. How much is the membership?
Yeah.
How much are your
So there's
membership?
3 tiers. They range from 30 all the way down. The 3 tiers: the gold, silver, and bronze. The bronze is 15, basically $15. The gold is like $32. It's a month. So roughly the highest would be maybe around $300 and something per year. The cheapest would be around 200. I don't want to I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's about roughly 200 and some dollars per year. We come out once a quarter, check out everything. You get complimentary devices replaced at no charge, 15% off your emergency calls and regular labor. Basically a great value to have, rather than calling somebody who may charge you thousands of dollars and not give you a discount.
All right, listen, Neville Reid, the owner, CEO of True Blue Services GA. Check him out. That's the website on the screen right there. Be sure to check him out. If you have a homeowner, if you know a homeowner, you know that you want to be prepared because you never know what's going to happen. True Blue Services. That's who you need to call. Don't sit and wait till it happens. You don't want to be trying to get ready. You should be ready. So check them out. Neville, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really enjoyed this. I appreciate your time because I know you're a busy man. Look, we've been trying to get this done. So we are here. So you got it right here. So thank you for all that you do, and continue to educate, homeowners and people about, what we need to know about in this space, because it's not going anywhere, y'all. It's going to keep going, and we need to be prepared and be ready. All right. Thanks, Neville, again. Right. I hope I'll talk to you soon.
I also want to add, we do commercial and industrial electrical as well.
Okay. Listen, you got an electrical, you got a commercial project that you need to have some electrical work done, reach out to True Blue Services. They do both, not just residential, both. And if you are a developer in that space and you want to make sure that your tenants are set up right out the gate, get them set up right out the gate. That way they'll be more happy to refer you when the next time you build somewhere. So check them out, trueblueservicesga.com. All right. Thank you again. Make the rest of your day the best of your day. I'll talk to you again soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You've been watching or listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the show today and share it with your friends by going to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.